Anyways, I got my blanket. Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and if you're new here, welcome. Hello. Thank you so much for watching. I much appreciate it. Thank you. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you guys some of my paranormal stories. As you guys know,
Happy Halloween!
what better way than to share my personal experiences. I also wanted to make a note to also say I don't condone any negative energy from this video because negative energy transfers. Just wanted to put that out there. Alright guys, I have so much creepy stories, and without further ado, let's get started with this video. So I believe I was 17 years old, and my dad, he was working, and he still currently works at this restaurant, but one night I went and I was helping my dad clean the restaurant. In the restaurant, it was only my dad, myself, and my auntie. My auntie was busy doing the vacuuming. And while we were finishing up cleaning, my dad was putting stuff down. I was willing to help my dad, of course, but he was like, no, it's okay, go relax. I was like, okay, sounds good. Let me just go to the bar section and let me just make myself a cup of tea. I'm just gonna describe to you guys how the bar section was. From my point of view, where I was standing, we had to my left the actual bar where you can get the alcohol and all of that. And then this mini bar to my right where I was grabbing the teas. There's a hallway, and at the end you can see there's a mirror. If you pass through that hallway, there is going to be a door, and normally that door is always open. I don't know why they have it always open, but it exits to the lobby that they have for extra customers if they get very busy. So on the right side, there is going to be a door which leads to the kitchen. So now that you guys have that image, let's move on with the story. As my father was telling me to go relax, I was like, okay, sounds good. Let me just go make myself a cup of tea. So at this point, my dad was in the kitchen, my auntie was vacuuming, and I was in the bar. So as I was making myself some tea, I was hearing footsteps. And to be honest, I didn't really think much of it because I thought it was my auntie. The footsteps just kept on coming closer to me. Then they stopped, and then they came closer to me, and then they stopped. If it wasn't for the way they were walking, I probably would have been like, it's just my auntie. But honestly, like, I feel like the way they were walking, they were trying to get my attention. So as I kept on hearing the footsteps louder and coming closer, I kind of got spooked out because they weren't just any footsteps. It's kind of like somebody was like dragging them, like going like dragging their feet like on the carpet. I was like, my auntie don't walk like that. But as I turned, I saw this woman. Her face was absolutely pale and blue. It called me crazy, but I know what I saw. She was wearing all black. Her hair was up to her bum. It was super long, super straight, and I just remember like standing there like freaked out. Because when I saw that woman, she was like walking by me, and then as I turned, she like kind of like went like whoop, and the door was here. The door, imagine the door being right here, and her walking by me and being like whoop, and her seeing me with her one eye. Imagine seeing that. I was creeped out. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I swear I froze. I froze for like a minute, and I was like, I just saw a ghost. I just saw a ghost. I just saw a ghost. So I go running to the kitchen and I call my dad. Freak out. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm shaking. But I explained to my dad what I saw, and my dad has seen like several ghosts around there. You know, the place is haunted. My dad ended up telling me that this lady that used to work at the restaurant where she worked near the bar area, she worked there about like 10 years ago or so, but she ended up committing suicide. And when he told me that, I froze. I was like, wow, well, I just saw her. And he's like, yeah, I've seen her before. She literally roams here sometimes. So that's what my dad was telling me. And honestly, guys, from my personal experience, I want to say that that experience would probably be one of the most horrifying experience, like paranormal experience for me, only because that was definitely the first time I've seen a ghost. And two, because when I looked up and I saw the woman, she actually stared at me. Like the door was here and she like looked like this. Like this was her face. This is exactly how cut out her face was. Like she looked at me and then she walked away. I actually didn't chase after her, but I took a couple seconds to hold myself together, and then I went to go peek and see who that was, because also I didn't really think much of it like until I saw it, because I knew it wasn't my auntie. But then again, I was like, am I hallucinating? Is it my auntie? So I went to go peek and nothing, as if she disappeared in thin air. That's when I went to my auntie and she was like, no, I was vacuuming. I wasn't there. And I got very, very spooked. But that was story number 1. I was home one night, and I believe it was on a weekend. I was studying and I was doing a bunch of homework. I had a lot on my hands that night. I also want to keep in mind that my dad was working, so he wasn't home. As I was in my room trying to study and just cram all this homework, my brother comes and he tells me that he was just gonna go drop off my mom and my younger sister to church, and he was gonna go and do a couple errands or so, but he was gonna come back within 2 hours. So I was like, okay, whatever, leave me alone, let me study. As my brother leaves, I'm home alone. I was all by myself in the house, and I was studying in my room with the door closed. So my brother left and he went to go do his errands. And that means I was left alone all by myself in this house. So at the time, we only had 2 pets. We had Chulita and we had Misho. But I was just really busy. I was studying alone with my door closed, as always. About 25 to half an hour later, I hear clearly somebody walk in the front door, close it, and starts walking with their construction boots. My brother, he owns a pair of construction boots, so I thought it was my brother, to be honest. In our house, we have the kitchen, and then we have the hallway. And once you go straight down that hallway, there's the bathroom, and then there's our bedrooms. All I heard was footsteps, back and forth, construction boots, back and forth, just walking down that hallway. And I personally thought it was my brother that came back from his errands, or he probably forgot something. I'm not too sure. But I personally thought it was my brother. And I was like, why is he walking back and forth? Like, what's his deal? So as I'm in my room just writing notes, I kept on hearing just so much noise. So I call out, I was like, hello? And I end up calling his name. I was like, are you there? Like, what's wrong? As it's walking back and forth, the moment it hears me saying hello, that person stopped right in front of my sister's room and in front of the closet, which is right beside my room. They shut that closet and they ran off, opened the front door and shut it. I just end up ignoring everything and I go back to my studies. I end up hearing Chulita crying, and I'm just like, ugh. Why is she crying? Like she wants to go outside or something? Whatever, fine. So I go outside of my room and I try going into the living room, and I'm like looking for Chulita, right? I see my cat, Misho, he's sleeping in the living room. So I look around and I'm just like, where are you, girl? Like, I'm trying to study here. As I'm following Chulita's cries, it leads me to the closet that's in front of my sister's bedroom. I open the closet. She runs underneath. her bed, and she didn't come out for like, I would say, an hour or so. At this point, I was just confused. I was like, why would my brother lock up one of my cats in like the closet? Like, that makes no sense. I immediately call him and I'm just like, hey. He's like, hey, what's up? When I told him this story, he was so confused. He was like, what are you talking about? I didn't come home. I told you that I was going to be dropping off mom and sister at church, and I was probably going to be gone for about 2 hours. And I was like, yeah, I remember you telling me that. So that wasn't you? I instantly got chills, guys. So who was that? Who was that walking back and forth, making so much noise, walked through our front door, closed our front door, and locked my cat in the closet? I was so confused. On a weekend night around 2 a.m., my younger sister and I, we were trying to binge watch horror movies. As we were trying to set everything up, we got our snacks, we got our blankets, and we got our cup of teas. We decided to binge watch the movies in our living room. In the middle of watching one of the horror movies, all of a sudden I remember hearing like noise that was coming from the basement. My sister and I end up pausing the movie. At the time, we had a full house of pets, but they were all sleeping and staying with us in the living room. As we were trying to watch the movie, we kept on hearing noise coming from our basement. We ended up ignoring it a couple times, not thinking much of it. But then the noise started becoming louder and clearer. And I swear to you guys, it was as if the noise was coming from a little girl. My sister and I, we were kind of freaked out, to be honest. As we put the movie on pause, we were like, okay, let's just listen to what the actual sound is. All we heard was meow, meow, meow. And I know I might sound ridiculous, but I swear to you guys, that is literally what we heard. As if a little girl was trying to play with the cats. All the pets were upstairs, and that is what freaked me and my sister out. We try heading close to the kitchen, which leads to the basement. So as we're getting close to the kitchen, I swear the sound was so clear. It literally sounded like a little girl's voice trying to play with her cats. We freaked out. We heard as if she was coming closer, as if she knew that we were creeping and trying to see. We freak out and we run to my room and we just end up staying there. I have a vent that connects to the basement where I can hear absolutely everything that is going on in the basement living room. I try listening. I kept on hearing this little girl's voice. Me just saying it like creeps me out because it was in this basement where I currently am staying, and it just gives me chills because till this day I sense as if like somebody is downstairs in the basement. I still hear a couple noises coming from the basement, especially when I am home alone, but I just don't come down here around like 2 a.m. anymore because that's just crazy and that's very creepy. I remember there was a night where I couldn't really sleep. I ended up doing laundry around like 12 a.m. or so, and I came downstairs in the basement. So as I was doing my laundry, I just kept on feeling like this weird energy, as if somebody behind me was like lurking and like watching me. I got very spooked, and I remember I like grabbed all my clothes, I quickly did laundry, and I just went upstairs. I was tossing and turning. It took forever for me to fall asleep, but eventually I did. And that night, I had such a weird dream. I ended up dreaming that I was in my current home and I went downstairs in the basement to go do some laundry. Exactly what I did the night before. As I was walking downstairs, I go to the laundry room and I end up seeing this little girl who had the characteristics of blonde hair, blue eyes, and her skin was white as snow. In my dream, she was like Okay, so as I'm editing this video, I just captured somebody knocking on my door. And the creepy thing about it, guys, is that I was home alone. So who the hell was knocking on my door? But I'm just gonna play it for you guys so that you guys understand what I'm talking about. In my dream, she was like... Oh, not gonna lie, guys, I'm pretty creeped out right now. I didn't think I was going to capture anything while filming this video. I don't know what that is, but it perfectly sounds like someone is knocking on my door. But anyways, let's move on with the story. She comes up to me and she taps me and she's like, "Hi." I said to her, "Hi, who are you?" She's like, "Yes, I live here. I normally stay underneath the stairs," which we do have. My whole dream is basically like located in our basement, so keep that in mind. The little girl comes up to me, and the weird thing about it is that she grabs me, pulls me closer to try to show me where she normally stays. She's like, "I normally stay here underneath the stairs. I just look and peek through this little tiny hole that you guys have to see who is actually coming down the stairs." As I'm saying this, I'm like getting chills because in our basement, obviously we have these stairs. Hi guys. So I just wanted to show you guys where that hole was underneath the stairs, just so that you guys understand what I'm really talking about. So the lighting isn't the best here, but I am currently downstairs in the basement. Here is the laundry room, and I just want to show you guys. Here are the stairs, and this is what I was talking about. This right here was where the hole was. They only covered it up to there. So there is a hole and you could actually peek through and see who walks down the stairs. It was weird that she was telling me this. We recently actually covered it when we did renovations because of that reason, because of my dream. So as she's showing me where she stays, she's like, "Yeah, this is where I normally stay. I like to look and peek through this little hole and see who comes down the stairs." And I was like, "Oh, interesting. Okay. Nice to meet you." She was like, "Nice to meet you too." I go upstairs and that was my dream. I wake up and I'm like, why the hell did I dream this? I was so confused. I was just weirded out mostly because the fact that I went the night before in the basement, I got chills because I felt like somebody was staring at me. And I go back up just to dream this weird dream. Like, no, it can't just be a coincidence. Like, there has to be something going on here. I ended up talking to my father actually, and we were talking about like ghosts and like paranormal like stories. As I was telling my dad this dream, my dad was like, "I dreamt the same girl." He was saying that he dreamt an older woman and a little girl. And in his dream, he just saw the older woman talking to the little girl. As my dad was approaching, my dad was like, "All I remember is that she laughed, smiled, and I went upstairs and that was it." I'm like, what? That is so weird to me that I dreamt this girl and you dreamt this girl, and all the dream was about us just going down to the basement, meeting them, and coming back upstairs. Like, that's so weird. Alright guys, that is it for this video. And also, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up down below. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, my loves, I'll see you later in the next video. Stay safe and God bless. Bye.